right, and these are the headlines. As the personal representative of the President of the Republic to the ceremony commemorating the 30th anniversary of the genocide suffered by Niger, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and National Community Abroad, Ahmed Attaf, held bilateral talks with his Rwandan counterpart, reviewing the relations of friendship, solidarity and cooperation between the two countries. Niger's ambassador to Algiers summoned to Foreign Affairs Ministry. The repatriation of Niger nationals residing illegally in Algeria was tackled, and Algeria renews its commitment to the essential rules of good neighborliness. Shocking death toll in Palestine amid the special month of Ramadan, while a ceasefire is not being implemented and the night of ordainment was observed in chaotic scenes following the blatant war crimes. The last prime of the 30th edition of Taj al-Quran took place yesterday evening, a great production of the national television attended by several ministers. We will take you to Alicante, where Arabic is being learnt in Spain. The children of our community abroad use it to discover their religion and Islamic culture. Right, welcome back. On Saturday in Kigali, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and National Community Abroad, Ahmed Attaf, held bilateral talks with his Rwandan counterpart, Vincent Biruta, as part of his working visit to the Republic of Rwanda. On this occasion, the two parties reviewed the relations of friendship, solidarity and cooperation between the two countries, welcoming the new positive dynamic characterizing these relations thanks to the special interest shown by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, and his brother, President Paul Kagame. The two ministers also agreed on a series of concrete measures aimed at maintaining and perpetuating this momentum through the activation of bilateral cooperation mechanism, in particular the Joint Commission for the Economic Cooperation, the extension of cooperation relations and exchanges to new areas such as energy and the pharmaceutical industry. The ministers also discussed the developments and the situation in the regions to which the respective countries belong, namely the Great Lake region and the Sahel region. Welcoming the convergence of positions and views in this respect, the two ministers stressed the need to strengthen bilateral coordination on peace and security issues arising in these two areas, which are of great importance for both countries. It should be reminded that Ahmed Attaf visited to Kigali as part of his participation as personal representative of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, to the ceremony commemorating the 30th anniversary of the genocide suffered by this brotherly country in 1994. And Niger's ambassador to Algiers summoned to Foreign Affairs Ministry, as he was received by the Director General of Africa, Selma Melika Haddadi. The central to the discourse was the matter of repatriation of Niger nationals residing illegally in Algeria's territory. It should be underscored that the cooperation between the two countries in such situation has been the subject of certain judgments from the Nigerian authorities, considered to be unfounded by the Algerian side. Against this backdrop, the ambassador to Niger was reminded of the existence of bilateral framework dedicated to this issue. He was also told that this framework must remain the privileged one for discussion and processing of all data and developments related to this question. At the same time, Algeria reiterated to the ambassador of the Republic of Niger its firm commitment to the essential rules of good neighborliness and its will to continue coordinating with Niger with a spirit of mutual respect and on the basis of values, cooperation, trust and solidarity. In the city of Al-Quds, the night of ordainment was marked with the presence of thousands of Palestinians at the Aqsa Mosque compound observing night prayers. It comes amid painful circumstances as Palestinians are suffering in Gaza. Protests were also held in the courtyard of the mosque against the Gaza war and the occupation of the Palestinian authorities. Zionist occupation forces, on the other hand, attacked worshippers with tear gas, and clashes were also reported on that supposed to be blessed night. And the Gaza Strip, Laylat al-Qadr, or the night of ordainment, was marked with Palestinians observing it on the ruins of destroyed mosque amid calls of a ceasefire and an end to the Zionist ongoing genocide, which is at its 7th month. And staggering casualty figures have been registered lately. 33,137 innocent civilians killed and 75,000 injured. Palestinians are observing the last days of the month of Ramadan in a total chaos, while still suffering from a genocide that seems to have a blustered support from the U.S., even though the U.S. top human rights body called on countries to stop selling or shipping weapons after the adoption of a resolution holding accountable the Zionist entity for its war crimes. Mani al-Bahri.
Over the last 6 months, the Zionist military campaign brought relentless destruction to Palestinians in Gaza, with more than 32,000 people reportedly killed and more than 75,000 injured. Gaza is facing a crisis that won't be held by aid alone. Aid agencies must be able to bring in humanitarian assistance to Gaza at an increased level and much faster pace. For his part, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres briefs reporters on the situation in Gaza on the 6 months mark of the conflict.
Lives are shattered. Respect for international humanitarian law is in tatters. During my visit to the Rafah crossing 10 days ago, I met veteran humanitarians who told me categorically that the crisis and suffering in Gaza is unlike any they have ever seen. Meanwhile, as I saw on my way to the Rafah crossing, long lines of trucks loaded with humanitarian aid continue to face obstacle after obstacle. When the gates to aid are closed, the doors to starvation are opened. More than half the population, over 1 million people, are facing catastrophic hunger. Children in Gaza today are dying for lack of food and water. This is incomprehensible and entirely avoidable. Nothing can justify the collective punishment of the Palestinian people.
Investigations show that the Zionist entity has been using artificial intelligence to help choose its bombing targets in Gaza, sacrificing accuracy in favor of speed and killing thousands of civilians in the process. Guterres utterly condemned the use of this latter.
I'm also deeply troubled by reports that the Israeli military's bombing campaign includes artificial intelligence as a tool in the identification of targets, particularly in densely populated residential areas, resulting in a high level of civilian casualties. No part of life and death decisions which impact entire families should be delegated to the cold calculation of algorithms. I've warned for many years of the dangers of weaponization artificial intelligence and reducing the essential role of human agency.
Over 1.7 million people in Gaza, representing nearly 75% of the people who live there, are estimated to be forcibly displaced in unsafe and unhealthy conditions, while no place is safe from the bombing. A call for an immediate ceasefire to prevent more deaths in Gaza and to restore and scale up the flow of humanitarian aid. Thousands have been killed and injured. Today, nowhere is safe in Gaza.
The last prime of the 30th edition of Taj al-Quran took place yesterday evening. A great production of the national television attended by several ministers. Ahmed Naous and Khadija Jumai won the first prize of this edition. Reported by Mansour Sabah, story by Yasir Hamdi.
أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر.
The last prime of Taj al-Quran was marked by the mastery of the participants who did their best to impress the demanding members of the jury. 6 laureates were crowned after their impressive performances.
إن الله يدافع عن الذين آمنوا
Thanks to God and my parents, I managed to win this edition of Taj al-Quran. I dedicate this prize to them.
وما كنت ترجو أن يلقى إليك الكتاب إلا رحمة من ربك.
I'm thankful to all those who encouraged me during this competition, especially my mashayikh and my family. We discovered wonderful voices that marked this edition. We hope that we'll continue on the same good level. This prime was a great success thanks to God. We thank all those who contributed to it. This tournament plays an important role in the recitation and preservation of the Holy Quran in Algeria. It also makes the youth interested in spirituality and culture. The participants did their best. It was an exceptional recitation with a remarkable mastery. It's a real honor for us and for the Algerian television. This competition reflects the beauty of our country during this blessed month. We hope that we'll always be guided by the Holy Quran.
الشعب الجزائري والجزائر بالقرآن الكريم.
The mosques, the Quranic schools and the zawiyas allow our youth to become ambassadors who honor Algeria at the national and international levels. At the end of the prime, several prizes were given to people with specific needs to encourage them to follow this beautiful humanitarian and spiritual journey.
As always, the Grand Mosque of Paris comes with a new activity in the month of Ramadan. This time, a competition of recitation of the Holy Quran was organized, welcoming young people and even kids as candidates. On this occasion, the President of the Republic has offered a number of the Holy Quran copies. Afif Boulouchat and Najah Tayyar.
In the Grand Mosque of Paris, a special ambience marked the Quran reciting competition. This main event that took place yesterday witnessed the participation of a large number of talented children and young people.
My eldest boy was the first to participate in this competition. His siblings saw it and liked it, then followed him.
The competition was divided to 4 categories. The most difficult one was the completion of Quran memorization, and it is even harder given the lack of Arabic learning structures.
We used to memorize Quran more to compete each other, but we grew to memorize it because it became our passion. We first memorize it, then we understand it little by little.
When I was a baby, my mother used to read me Quran to sleep, and I memorized it then. I studied Quran for a year, and that helped me to memorize more, as I am doing now with my mother, which is a Mason. The competition was concluded by the distribution of gifts to the winners. It was also the opportunity to distribute copies of the Holy Quran in Braille, offered by Algeria. I got a tablet, a calendar and a chocolate. I am so happy for the win.
Cette occasion, nous avons reçu de la part de Monsieur le Président de la République, Abdelmadjid Tebboune,
We received from the President of the Republic, Abdelmadjid Tebboune, copies of Quran in Braille, which we gave to those in need. The event ended with a collective iftar, gathering all organizers and participants in an image of a real family.
And Arabic has been learned in Spain at a very young age, as the children of our community abroad use it to discover their religion and Islamic culture, which is precisely the mission of the Islamic Center of Alicante in Spain. Emina Seiji and Yasir Hamdi.
In the heart of the Spanish city Alicante, the Islamic Cultural Center strives to anchor the Islamic identity in children by teaching them the values and the principles of Quran. Through religious education, this school consolidates the youth's faith. There is 1,000 of children over 5 years old. The lessons are scheduled for the weekends or after school. We teach them Islamic education, psalmody and the Arabic language. In addition to that, the school offers various activities and trainings to the children of the Muslim community of the city.
يقرؤون بشكل رئيسي القرآن الكريم والتربية الإسلامية واللغة العربية.
أدرس اللغة العربية لغير ناطقين بها.
I teach Arabic language to non-Arabic speaking children as well as Islamic education and Quran. Our Islamic education program includes diverse objectives such as belief, the Prophet's life, the Islamic tales, the religious rituals and the study of Quran, in which we focus on recitation rules and phonetics.
ونركز على مخارج الحروف.
The cultural center was created to meet the needs and the aspirations of the Islamic community of the city, especially by preserving the Islamic and cultural identity of children. There are different departments to achieve these objectives.
نحن في هذا المركز
With the 4 departments, namely administration, preaching, Islamic education and Arabic language, we can meet the needs of the community and offer services to improve the knowledge of the faithful. This center is not just a place of worship for the faithful during the Friday sermons and prayers. It's more than a mosque. The doors are open to any person wishing to discover Islam or learn more about it. Our mission is to explain Islam to those interested in it. This center is a bridge between the different cultures, thus offering a space of exchange and discovery to all the Muslim community. It's a precious asset for the city of Alicante.
Well, that was it for today's news. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.